Hey, how you doing? I'm Adam Post, publisher of College of the Dead. Really happy publisher of College of the Dead. Publisher of The Mermaids, the upcoming series, and publisher of more than 1,000 independent comic books over the last 35 years. I've seen it all, but nothing quite like ComicsGate. ComicsGate is truly amazing. ComicsGate is the network of fans and creators that collaborate, work together, respect and endorse each other and promote each other and enjoy each other's successes, and I'm really, really glad to be a part of it. This is a fantastic tweet that Ethan Van Sciver sent yesterday. This is just totally out of the blue. He sent this tweet with a chart that someone sent him showing the sequel efforts of ComicsGate Comics, and he congratulated me, which was fantastic, and everyone else too, because a lot of people are doing well. College of the Dead is doing really, really well because the first book for College of the Dead, and I'm up to book 2 now, the first book, while it did fine, it didn't do fantastic. And now the second book has done quite a bit more than the first book. So I want to do a video to talk about like what it was that I did differently on the second book and how I think that really added to the results. Because what you don't want to see if it's avoidable at all, and sometimes it's not avoidable. You know, sometimes you lose a major bunch of your customers for one reason or another, and a sequel might not necessarily do as well as the first book. But to me, it's important that sequels don't lose ground, that sequels hold their customer base, and coming the next time around when you offer that next book, that you've hopefully retained a lot of audience and built new audience for whatever your title is. It's so important in publishing to be capable of doing that. So what did I do differently between book 1 and book 2? Well, I mean, one thing with book 1 was we only had book 1 to sell. This is book 1. The cover was great. The book was great. The trailer was great. Had some great help on getting that trailer done. I appreciate that, guys. Just part of the ComicsGate guys. And great graphic design. I really like the layout of this promo piece. But the book 1 was black and white, and black and white and 2 panels per page. And not everybody liked the 2 panels per page. Not everybody liked black and white. And not everybody's going to like everything. It's very normal. People like different things. But people tried it. We got a number of backers. When the campaign first closed, it did $5,300 in its 60 days, and with exactly 100 backers. And I really wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to get to the point where I could even stay, I could get fully funded, because it had a $3,000 fixed goal, which is actually high when you don't have a base of people. This is when I just first started with ComicsGate. Now, I was endorsed by Ethan Van Sciver, by him letting me be on his show a couple of times. That really helped me get exposure in ComicsGate. But it was exposure to customers, but also to other ComicsGate people who were so generous with their YouTube channels and their help with promotion. There are more promotional YouTube channels and more people helping each other in ComicsGate now than ever. There are some jealous people. There's some people that have left. But for the most part, people have stayed in ComicsGate. People who've stayed have all done better. And they share their success with other people. And it's fantastic because we get new people in the business also, and in the group, like Graham Nolan, who created Bane for Batman. His book, The Chenoo, is still funding. I think that's the right way to say it. Is still funding on Indiegogo. A very cool looking, unique book. Great trailer. And Dan Fraga, who is a phenomenal talent, really well known in comics, and a big star in ComicsGate already. But there's an endless number. But, of course, thanks to all those guys. So College of the Dead, book 1, again, the first 60 days, 5,300, and then another 5.5 months later, it accumulated another $290. So essentially, it did double the money it did again in 6.5 months, or 5.5 months. So why 5.5 months? Why did I stop selling College of the Dead book 1? That's when I launched College of the Dead Graduation Day, book 2. So by the time I offered College of the Dead Graduation Day, I had gained even more endorsements along the lines. What are even endorsements? Endorsements are, look, we're part of a group of people that need to learn to trust each other. So it's very important that people know who you are and what kind of work you're doing and what your reputation is for producing quality, for delivering what you promise. I shipped my first book on time. I had the book done when I offered it. And I knew it would ship on time because it was done. Even so, we had some design problems and some production issues. I had to change printers. I was really surprised that a printer that was great 2 years ago, all of a sudden they changed their processes and the quality wasn't where it needed to be as far as I was concerned. So we had to change printers, which meant changing the files and all the setup. Yeah. So you want to plan ahead as much as possible so you can keep the promise and ship on time. I promised that we would deliver internationally by October 2019. We'd have everything shipped by Halloween, and everything was shipped by Halloween 2019. And for College of the Dead graduation day, I had even said I was going to ship June 26th, 2020. And we wound up shipping everyone internationally a week prior to that. What's more is I took on my own fulfillment to make sure that all the books would be in absolute perfect condition and packed perfectly, because unless you do your own fulfillment, you don't know what it's going to be, in terms of how it's going to get handled. There are plenty of great people that do fulfillment, but I do like the idea of controlling it myself and just knowing that my customers are all going to get what they were promised. So after 2 months, College of the Dead graduation day, the campaign generated $25,130 after 2 months. So after 2 months, that's like 5 times, right? Approximately 5 times what the first campaign did. And now, since May 7th, it's how many months are we since the close of the campaign? On July 7th, and right now it's June 30th. So in another week, approximately, we'll be another 2 months out from the campaign ending. It's done another $5,500 almost. And, what I attribute that success to is a number of different factors. One, having shipped the book, College of the Dead book 1, was a huge help. So, you got to be patient when you start something new. You've got to show people not just who you say you are, but who you actually are when you make and deliver on your promises. And you make good on them. So you want to expect that your first thing is a building thing. And in College of the Dead graduation day at 30,600, I often tell people this, like, look, if you publish one comic a year and it does 30 or 40 or 50 or even $100,000, that's not necessarily even a reasonable income. It's not really a business yet. I'm very happy to have the success that I have. I've published a lot in the years, more than anyone else involved in ComicsGate. I've sold more comics than anyone else has sold in ComicsGate through my, decades of doing this. And I can tell you, what's building with ComicsGate's amazing. The opportunity is amazing. And I know I'm going to sell more comics through ComicsGate and generate more dollars through ComicsGate and more characters and more success and do the best work I've ever done than ever before. And I think everyone else who sticks with ComicsGate and invests their time and energy in great comics and great customer service is going to be rewarded that same way. We all help each other in ComicsGate. And that's how the numbers make a difference. So that was the first thing I had delivered on book 1, but also I was able to offer book 1 again along with book 2. So that meant that for the people that missed out on book 1, and look, only 100 people backed book 1. So how many people got book 1? 100 backers when it first closed, and then 209 backers, so another 109 people. That's not a lot of people in the world. There are thousands and thousands of people who buy comics in ComicsGate, and beyond that, as ComicsGate grows, there are going to be more and more and more people beyond that as well that buy. And a lot of times people do like that a title has a history. They don't want to invest their energy and their time and their resources and their money in a comic series that's just a one-off, that there's never going to be more story for. So being able to offer book 1 and now the second book, Graduation Day, was a big help to me. It created a lot of extra revenue and it created extra sales. We actually sold more copies of this prequel comic the second offering through graduation day 2 than we sold through the first. And, that's fantastic. That means we're getting a lot more new readers. Another thing I did was I made sure I made variants this time. Variants are not for everyone. They can be expensive to print. And what's a variant? A variant just means it's the same interior with a special cover. So when people decide they want to support you and they want to buy, they're looking at your campaign, they're looking at your project, and they're saying, hey, well, what's the most expensive thing? I like this project. I like this guy. I want to see him be successful. Well, they can go and they can buy, one of each of these covers, as a set. We have all 3 covers as a set at $75. And another thing was we added an additional variant, which actually included a new cover by Narwhal. So we wound up with 5 different cover versions, all of the same, 4, all of the same comic book. There is actually a 5th version, which we're going to offer as a second chance campaign in a couple of months. That's why I said 5. But in any case, there are 4 cover versions available now, collegeofthedead.com. We'll take you right to this campaign. You can still get the books, is my point. So for people that wanted to support me, they could buy all covers. Sometimes people like to collect the covers. The covers to print, depending on your printer, will cost an extra $100 or $150 for setup. And then, of course, whatever you compensate the artist with. But it helped. We had more product to sell that way. And I also did some overprinting of all these books. In total, of the College of the Dead comics, of all the versions, including the second chance version, we printed around 2,500, roughly 2,500 copies of all of the books. We sold up through now probably 700 copies of the individual books. And look, at $25 a book, it adds up. So we're going to do another $30,000 or $40,000 on this project, College of the Dead Graduation Day, including backlists for College of the Dead Book 1. And how do I know that? Because, well, I have upcoming campaigns. And on this upcoming campaign, we're going to offer backlist. I have a second chance campaign with a 5th cover that no one's people haven't been exposed to yet. It is hidden in College of the Dead Graduation Day. There's a listing of all the cover versions in there. But yes, people haven't been able to buy it yet. They're going to buy it. We're going to do additional projects. I have 3 other projects that are in the works. I've published a lot of comics, so I have a lot more coming. That's my way. But in any case, we're going to offer College of the Dead 1 and 2 and the different variants as backlist for those. So we will continue to sell these. We'll continue to promote these. And what's more is College of the Dead Spring Break, which is book 3, is already underway. I have the full script done. I have all of the layouts done, all the pencil layouts. And we're expecting to do 10 to 12 pages a month starting in July of finished pages. July being this month coming up right now. And when we have the complete book in hand, then I will do the campaign for College of Dead Spring Break, which is I'm expecting right now is going to probably be October of 2020 for a ship date of January 2021, which is my schedule. That's my plan, to do 2 new College of the Dead books by the same phenomenal creative team, same writer, same artist, same colorist, every 2 months a year, 48 pages full color. And that's my plan as well for the Mermaids. It's my plan for every ongoing series that I launch, is that we're going to go ahead and do 2 48-page full color books per year with the same creative team. That's the objective. And dependent on sales and response, I love the Mermaids. It's Game of Thrones with mermaids. It's really, really interesting. There are many characters. It's really well thought out. It's got like 35 characters. I spent 2 years developing the concept with a team of other creative people because I was just fascinated by the concept. And finally, I'm getting to release the book thanks to ComicsGate. So that's to stick though with this. That's why we did more business. Was we had book 1 to sell, we had book 2 to sell, we had the variants for book 2, And I also like to make these ash cans. These ash cans are really a making of book. It's 100 pages. It's black and white. It's the full script with the full pencil layouts for how we made the book. It's incredibly educational, and it's really interesting. It's like the ultimate director's notes for comics. So I'm going to make them whenever possible alongside the comics. We don't sell tons of them, but we sell some of them, and it adds up to money. And it also gives people more of an ability to engage more with the production of the content, which is important. You can't do that with, even though Cyberfrog is amazing, you can't get in on the making of Cyberfrog except to watch YouTube channels. You don't get to get a book with the script and the rough layouts and things like that. And you can't get it with other titles in ComicsGate. So why should I do it? Well, it's a great little extra niche where if you're interested in ComicsGate and you're interested in how comics are made, you're going to have to buy my book because no one else is doing it right now. And I definitely encourage other creators to do it if you have a full script. And you get rough layouts to do. I mean, it winds up working out really well as an extra product. So that's really the main difference, is making the additional product available. It's really important. Like if you look at College of the Dead, the sets that we had here, complete set, all books was $85. That was book 1. Okay. Plus the making of book, the 100-page book, and plus this art book that was 260 pages. Those are still available. But now if you look at what's available for this campaign, you have all of the books plus 2 new books, which is referring to the art book and the ash can. This doesn't even include the extra narwhal cover. I'm going to have to update that in the system. But in any case, look at this. I mean, I went from $85 worth of product, if you want to support and promote the production of more College of the Dead books, $85 to $220. Originally, we had this $160 price point, which is still like twice $85, right? You can spend a considerable amount of money supporting this project, and that's kind of the whole point. And that's how you're able to generate more revenue also is, be sensitive to your price points. Make sure you have expensive enough stuff where if people want to support you, there's a way that they can do it. They can say, okay, great. I've had some people that have bought all the books, plus 2 new books at $220, and they've bought this set additionally and a couple of extra books, and they're just clearly buying them as a way to send money to me to be supportive of my project. And I can't thank you guys enough. If you can afford it, it's fantastic for you to do that. It's a huge help to me. And that's how we were able to do it. That's how we were able to get what this chart is showing is over 180% more business on College of the Dead Book 2 as a sequel than Book 1. And I'll tell you, Book 3 is going to do better than Book 2 and Book 1. It's going to do more than both of them combined. Because we're going to have Book 1 to sell, we're going to have Book 2 to sell, plus variants, and we're going to have Book 3 plus variants for Book 3. And I'm thinking of some other special things as well. I don't want to announce them until I'm 100% sure we can produce them cost effectively. But I'm looking at a lot of stuff, let's put it this way. Anything you can imagine that anyone else has done successfully in ComicsGate especially, I'm considering and looking into. And we'll do it. We'll do more fun, special things. In addition to, I'm going to do more live streaming, more promotion on other people's YouTube channels, and more of promoting other people on their YouTube channels. And that's how you get known. That's how you get appreciated. That's how people decide they want to support you. So there are some campaigns on here, like Cyberfrog is about to break $1 million. It's doing better than my campaign, College of the Dead. However, don't be afraid to look at what your success is, know where you are at, and compare where you are at with your current book, say, versus your sequel, or your current book where you think you might land on this list, and then look at what you can do when it comes to your sequel. And also, don't be ashamed to ask other people for help and say, hey, look, my numbers are a little bit low. I'm trying to hit another number. Is there any way I can be on your show and help you promote? I've been able to do it for some people a little bit. My time is incredibly limited, but I've seen other people trying to help each other out as much as they can also. It's an incredible community that way. So no one's going to do it all for you. But people will put themselves out and they will help you. I mean, that's absolutely what ComicsGate is all about. As long as you're respectful, nobody owes anybody anything. Endorsements are something that have to be earned. An endorsement is what you're asking for when you say to someone, hey, can I be on your channel? You're looking to connect with that person's audience, that person's customers. So because we're all selling products to our customers, and thank you to the customers that are mine who are listening to this right now, and thank you to everyone who's graciously shared their YouTube channels with me and their customers with me to build my channel. Hopefully you start to kind of get the idea. There's really nothing more valuable than an endorsement once you're capable and competent to promise and deliver a product on time. Now you need a way to get the word out from trusted people. So an endorsement is really a referral. It's the way you get your product in front of somebody else with a promise of, hey, you ought to check this out. And much respect to Dan Frega in particular, who has been doing that for a lot of people and just letting them know, like, projects that he thinks look like they have a lot of potential, and he believes in the creators. He did it for me, but he's done it for the Lost Pages, which looks like a great project. He did it for Michael Bancroft, his project Lucent, which looks like a great project, and a number of other people. And doesn't mean that I can do it for everyone, Dan can do it for everyone, or whatever, as I said. But seek these people out, appreciate them, respect them, and you can get endorsements from them too. And the main thing is, take care of your customers. And if you run into customers that you can't satisfy, then they're not really good customers for you. It's a common thing in business. Not everybody can be made happy. You make everybody as happy as you can. And, if they're not a good customer for you and you can't service them properly, then just don't do business with them anymore. Well, definitely make sure you give me some comments below. Tell me what you think of this video. Other questions or suggestions you have about it. I'd love to see any questions about this. I'm going to respond to every comment people leave. Also, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications so I can kind of keep you in the loop on things and let you know when new cool things are happening with my projects and in ComicsGate. And I'll see you again soon with another video. But if I don't see you, I will miss